They're talking about countries I didn't know we did wars in. I didn't know we had a war in Yemen and Libya in the early 2000s. We were just all over the fucking world smoking people, apparently.
Probably are now.
Dude, Yemen's going to kick off
forces
again.
in Israel right now, or Ukraine.
I hope.
Like,
I definitely in 100% Ukraine.
Like, we can't get caught, right? Like, there can't be Americans there. That'll be a big deal.
I bet the Americans that are there, if they are caught, won't register as Americans to whoever caught them. Would be my guess.
Yeah, I considered that too. Might work. I don't know.
I don't know anything that you don't. I guess they're right. But
I think you said it right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I doubt we have anybody in Israel because we're so weird about that anyway. If anything, we've probably got some like people back on like whatever the green zone is, like I don't know, maybe there to help in some way.
I went the other way. I thought we were more likely to be in Israel because we're closer allies, I think. And what's Palestine going to do? Like, we don't want Russia to get into a hot war with America, but the PLO, who gives a fuck if they get into a hot war?
It's not really them.
They don't want to lose. They don't want to lose Americans in that.
Israel isn't like principally concerned with Hamas as far as a competitor in the region. It's Hezbollah, and so that's why they're gonna. I think it's likely that they continue to do a real invasion of Lebanon at some point in the future, because that's where. Well, they're already bombing Lebanon because they're saying they're taking out Hezbollah sites, and then that the Hezbollah alliance between those guys in Lebanon and in Iran, where kind of the meat of the power of Hezbollah comes from. I think it's it's a bit more risky than a lot of us realize over there.
No, I think it is. One of those CIA guys, they asked him how World War III began. They asked him a question like that, he said that. He's like, I think it already started. I think it started when Russia invaded Ukraine. That was the beginning of World War III. And we're slowly, and the forces are all coalescing now with the United States and Canada and Germany, and this time very, very seemingly Poland, like really beefing up, pulling together. And obviously, and the India-Pakistan thing is always the most worrying one to me.
The reason that one doesn't bother me is because it's incredibly old. India and Pakistan have hated each other for 1,000 years. There's nothing new there.
Yeah.
You know what the rate
just go over there and be like, you're all the same, brah.
Taylor, at what rate would you say the father on daughter incest rate is in Pakistan compared to the rest of the world? Like, by what magnitude would you say they exceed the average?
Wait, father daughter incest?
Father daughter incest, yes, occurrences.
I don't know. For you to bring it up, they must be trouncing the rest of the world. So I'm going to say 4 times as high. 3 times as high.
Oh, I think it's 6,000 times. I think it's 6,000 times the occurrence.
Zach, delete
regularly.
This. Pretend. I'm going to guess 6,000 times.
You nailed it. See? I knew Taylor had his finger on the packy pulse.
If there's one area where Taylor is well educated, it's father on daughter rape.
Yes. Specifically Palestine.
Give it a second before you pull that number out. Just like Zach, pretend to think about it.
Zach, tented fingers of thought.
Fact check me on that one, Zach.
Yeah, I don't know what Pakistan's up to.
I don't want to throw the under the incest bus if they need.
You sounded pretty sure.
I'm like, well, I do that.
Zach says I'm looking into it. Zach's being added to a watch list as we speak.
There's no way Twitter lied to me. It said 6,000 times the occurrence.
36% of girls and 29% of boys have experienced in Pakistan.
Damn.
Well,
are they being spanked? We need to know. We need to parse specifically the info there.
No, if you include spanking, it's 100% of Pakistani children.
Reddit says you're right. Not the 6,000 in particular, but that it's hugely high rates of incest.
Yeah, I saw 6,000, and which seems silly, but I thought it's so funny that I'd repeat it. Because what are they going to do?
Cousin marriage.
I mean, that might be a barometer for incest in general.
I do know that
that
region of the world has way higher cousin marriage than a lot of others.
You would never know it by looking at them.
Really?
I thought the whole cousin marriage thing was overblown, but I saw a YouTube video on it and say it's a real problem, and it surprised me to learn the bigger problem happened a couple generations down. Like if brother and sister or mother and son or whatever have a kid, those kids are probably okay. It's not until grandkids, great grandkids that the problems really spike up.
And that's probably compounding over time.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good. Yeah,
Right.
hopefully the Middle East
Pakistan
doesn't pop off too hard. I guess it's already popping off a bit, but hopefully we can avoid conflict with Iran, and hopefully Israel doesn't invade Lebanon, and hopefully Saudi Arabia doesn't.
I just hope it doesn't inconvenience
with Yemen.
That is the real tragedy. We need to make sure Kyle's all right.
How much do we care if we're not directly inconvenienced?
Well, ideally, we don't want a global hegemon shift. But
as far as the Midwest goes.
Yeah.
But I mean, day to day, like if you hear, bombings in what country? What a stand? Like
I've never lived in
drafting us. I'm okay.
But there's more than drafting. What is a real war economy like, where they tell the automotive manufacturers to shift their focus to tanks? Said that funny. Or where they like just, I don't know. Hey, Kyle, don't eat steak. Save that for the soldiers.
That's oh my God. If that
so that's CIA.
That'll get me marching.
Oh, you'll be a soldier.
No, not that kind of marching.
No. I heard it.
Impotent protester marching. That's what I'll do.
They kind of asked the guy basically that they asked him like, what would it look like World War III? And he suggested that it's going to look more like these big proxy wars that are going on now, rather than drafting a bunch of Americans and dropping them off on a beach somewhere. It's going to be airlifting tanks and helicopters to an ally in Europe or in Asia who needs it.
It is until it isn't. It is until it isn't. And that the idea we're totally past boots on the ground mass wars, I don't think is true.
I think it's up to China whether that happens, and I don't think they want to do it. So I think we'll keep these proxy wars up. China wants their island, like I said, which I think is going to happen this year, but they will be rebuffed, as I predicted, Nostradamus style. You're going to look back at this clip.
I say they're not rebuffed. If our solar system was a neighborhood, we're in the one nice house. The rest of it's trash.
The idea that we should take Mars and colonize it as a backup planet in case we ruin this one. There is no universe in which Mars is a better starting point than Earth for humans.
Yeah,
for fixing things. Like I do like the idea, however, of being somewhere else, even if it is shitty. It's a storm shelter of a planet. Like maybe the Earth gets hit and fucked up for a generation or two, but there's enough people underground living in some shit city on Mars that the Earth they're looking at satellite readings. The Earth seems to have stabilized. The oceans have receded. Let's fly back or something. Maybe that. But Venus seems better for that. Whenever I hear them talk about Venus, they say that
terrible.
No. So up in the if you're on the ground, it's 900 degrees. It melts lead down there. But up high in the atmosphere, there's a layer in the atmosphere that you could kind of open the window and you wouldn't die instantly. There's a level of atmosphere.
I'm sold.
You're really selling.
This is his example of the best we've got.
There's a whole
if you're 30,000 feet up, you can briefly open a window and not immediately asphyxiate.
Hear me out. Well, I mean, Mars is worse.
I mean, you'll want to flush out all the sulfur and I don't know.
No, you get out of the sulfur layer.
No, but Woody, you don't understand. Once we've excavated Mars and Venus in a way that far outpaces even what we've done on our own planet for our entire existence, it'll be smooth sailing, nice.
There's no terraforming. There's
what are we gonna do? Live in tents?
You would live in airships on Venus, is what the plan would be.
Well, then why not just live on a ship that's floating around the Earth?
Because you want to go to another planet and explore it, Taylor. You're the guy who stays home when Christopher Columbus takes off. Why don't you just stay here?
No,
where you going?
The existence of islands and shit, they knew they would find something neat.
What kind of fucking Italian are you?
Not one.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to go to Venus or fucking Mars. Maybe if it was for all mankind, that seems like a pretty decent Mars to go check out. They've got porn and pussy and alcohol and rovers and shit. It seems like a good time.
They have.
You're living it seems better than being an American nuclear submariner to me. You've got
glamping,
orders,
basically. They're basically living as rough as somebody with a toe behind RV would live.
Mm-hmm.
With high stakes. High stakes, shitty living. You can't just pull over at a Buc-ee's. You die.
Well, I mean, sure.
Yes.
Go wrong. But all right. I get your point. But
what do you think, Chris? Are there any good planets, or do we need to take care of this one we're on, right?
Some would say. Yeah, I honestly just keep moving inward. Just like Ben Shapiro said, you just sell your house if you live down on the coast and everything will be fine.
Yes.
You just move up to Iowa.
To who? A fishery? Like, who's gonna buy my house that's gonna be under 8 meters of water?
I know, right? Like, yeah, honestly, that's why I like living in the Midwest, because I feel like I'm safe for now. Until the atmosphere catches on fire or whatever is gonna happen when we are living on other planets. But yeah, that's what my plan is, to just stay put for now.
I think that's smart. And since we're Midwest boys, like, we've got like a century lead time, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Like, if New York starts going underwater, we got forever. That's their problem.
Dude, they were by you.
Until we're like Shatner age, at least.
I don't know what the elevation is. I know I saw this graph of sea level, and we get fucked up by the Mississippi way faster than you would think. Like, I guess that big river getting out of control creates a lot of basins, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to suddenly be in some weird archipelago water world.
Taylor, you're at 466 feet. Like, I'm at 290. Like, just because you're inland a lot doesn't mean you're right.
I don't know. I see that map. There's a lot of land. And that's how it works. No, you're right. Like, when I started doing that graph, I'm like, we're safe. And it's like,
I'm 1,000 feet.
You're higher than
Northern Illinois at.
I'm higher than either of you. It's 1,000 feet here in Atlanta.
And you're in Illinois. Okay, so Chris, you're going to get fucked up by the Mississippi too, or the Great Lakes. I don't know how that would work.
Northern Illinois.
I don't know how much further north Chicago, or how much higher elevation Chicago is than St. Louis.
It's got to be
Taylor's problem.
Tens of feet. Yeah, I'm going to guess 630 feet.
But if we're like apocalypse proofing our the area we live,
Ooh, not too bad.
I'm 728.
Would be in trouble because of the missile silos out there, right? Like, I think there's a lot of nuclear missile silos. So if there's a full scale exchange between us and the Russians, then they like pepper you pretty good.
Yeah, you did show me that graphic, but that's a problem for another day, friend.
Like, you have a basement, right?
Yeah, I got a basement. Just go in there and then just let the nuclear fallout just wash over. It probably kill bacteria. Kyle's just here to me. That's not a big deal.
It's just like put your head down.
It's absolutely not a big deal with modern hydrogen bombs. They burn up. They're not going to irradiate the area for generations. They use all the fuel. It's gone.
What if they use a scary bomb though? What if they fuck our asses with a really bad one?
Like a hydrogen bomb, the biggest ones we have.
Wait, a hydrogen bomb's not the scary one. That's different than a nuclear bomb, right?
That's Chris, just so you know, Chris, Kyle is
I have blown
denier.
Kyle's mind with my stupidity. Okay. I don't think I understand.
So a hydrogen bomb is a thermonuclear weapon. It differs from the fission devices like they used in World War II because it uses first high explosive that gets the fission explosion going off. And then the fission explosion is the one that sets off the fusion explosion, which is like the same shit our sun does.
I saw the movie.
And that's a hydrogen bomb. That's how a hydrogen bomb works. It's
So when you say hydrogen bomb, I should think nuclear bomb.
Yeah. Yes. Those are the ones we use.
Fine.
Those are the modern nuclear weapons. I think for like the last 50 years or so have been hydrogen bombs. You know, like the ones that are on the missiles and the MIRVs and everything.
Of our audience already knew that. Like, do 80% of them think I'm a moron right now? 100%?
No, I don't think anybody thinks you're a moron. It's a little eclectic fact about nuclear weapons.
Dude, so sometimes there will be a comment from someone who's like, you know, I work in the nuclear power industry and I hate all three of them so much. And it'll be like 2,000 upvotes. Like there are 15 reasons they're all wrong. And I'll see part of that comment and be like, nah, don't care. Like I'm already, I'm dug in. Nukes are the worst thing ever and they're very scary. And Kyle with his maths isn't going to convince me.
We have a power
It's a Google search away.
Like 10 miles away from me, we have a power plant, and my fear as a kid was always like a plane's gonna land in that, and we're gonna be toast. And that was like I found that was like every kid in my school's fear was that power plant was gonna get attacked, and we were gonna be. It was like 30 miles each direction, which is gonna be wiped out.
Yeah, I remember thinking about that.
Quite the case.
Then it didn't seem like it was like, well, this doesn't seem to really happen ever. except for that one fucking Soviet-run bullshit one, and then Japan putting like, didn't Japan put a nuclear reactor in a volcano? Something absurd.
It grew up like 150 miles from 3 Mile Island, so it was on our mind maybe more than yours. Plus some older.
Yeah,
just got to keep some water on that thing. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, and you need water on it anyway. You make the steam, make the world go round.
So they say.